Paris FC was a club founded in 1970 with the goal of becoming a dominant Ligue 1 side. Well, that's not quite worked out. They've had only 3 years in the top flight of France since that foundation date, and they've got a club in their way called Paris Saint-Germain, who you might know who are quite a big side. So today, we are looking to not only get into Ligue 1, not only to overthrow PSG, but to bring the Champions League to Paris for the first time. And of course, it's all by using the Moneyball scouting method. So welcome to rebuilding Paris FC. Well, as things stand, Paris FC actually sit in 5th place and could have a chance of going up to Ligue 1 next season. They've got playoff match against Rodez, which will be played before this video comes out. So hopefully they've got through, or it's absolute despair and they haven't. It's another season in Ligue 2. As you can see from how Ligue 1 works, 4th, 1st and 5th place off in a playoff game. They play against 3rd, and if they win, they get promoted. And that is where we are starting today in Ligue 2. So the second tier of France, all the way to Champions League winners. So this is going to take a long time, so grab yourself some popcorn. But as we look through the squad, there is some very good wonderkids here. We've got a goalkeeper, Obed Nakambidio, who looks absolutely fantastic. He's 20 years of age. He's consistent, 6'3", 20 years of age. He is going to be our starting goalkeeper, hopefully for this season and for next. We've got centre-backs in Johan Gore, who is 18 years of age, 5-star potential, and again, looks very, very good. And there's also some decent players littered throughout the squad, like Mohamedou Kante, 4.5-star potential. Lamine Diaby Fadiga as our striker looks very good. Ilian Kiabal as well. We are set up, of course, in a 4-2-3-1 system. Looking to try and get the best out of this team. We are a dominant side in Ligue 2. Well, we should be able to be quite a dominant side in Ligue 2. So we're going to be quite aggressive and going to be very front-footed. Now, the actual club of Paris FC doesn't have the greatest youth recruitment at 5-star in silver, so getting players through the academy, as well we've got as couple in the team, is going to be quite difficult going forward. We have got decent facilities in 3-star training and 3-star youth facilities. Our reputation is also quite good. The money here at the club is also okay. We've got £9 million in the overall balance, and in terms of debts and loans, there's absolutely nothing on the club. Don't quote me on this, but I believe they are owned by a Bahraini state as well, so there could be quite a bit of money in the backing of the club. So as we go up through the leagues or up to the top division and pushing up into Europe, we could get given quite a bit of money by the board as well. But let's get into season 1. Hopefully it's going to be quite a quick progression, 1 season or 2 seasons in this season in this league, and then we can get into Ligue 1 and then start challenging PSG. Well, we actually managed to finish in the exact same position as Paris FC have done in real life, in 5th place outside the 4th and 3rd. So the playoffs are going to be difficult, but I was wrong in how the playoffs work. You play up against 4th place. If you win this game, you play up against 3rd place. And if you win that game, you go into a 2-legged affair against a Ligue 1 side. So you can see, first of all, we are 2-0 up thanks to a brace from Fandinga, both inside of 10 minutes, for a screamer from Sangare for QRM to make it 3-0. They went and got a red card, but the red card didn't seem to affect us too much because we had a fantastic striker in Fandinga. And we were actually beating QRM in the first round to go through to the playoff round against Bordeaux. And the second tier of France is absolutely littered with massive clubs, and Bordeaux are a club that I fully expected to beat us. Well, we weren't 1-0 up thanks to a goal from Howell in 44 minutes, and I'm very glad this is just a 1-legged affair because we go 2 goals up in 70 minutes and we're up into the playoffs to get into Ligue 1. And we're facing up against FC Lorient, and in the home leg for Paris FC, it was a 0-0 draw. We had a much better XG, more shots, less on target, but we certainly looked like we'd be deserving to win this game, with man of the match going to Lorient's goalkeeper. We now had to go away from home in the 2-legged affair to see if we were going to be Ligue 1 next season. And well, there was only 1 goal in the whole tie, and lucky enough for us, it came in the 48th minute, a backstick finish from Lamine Gueye in the 45th +3, just before that half-time whistle, and we are through into Ligue 1. Lorient are going to get relegated, and that is absolutely massive for us. You can see as well, we deserved it in the second leg, away from home. We were simply fantastic. And as we look through the league table, it was actually a very, very tight position from us to 3rd place, whilst the 4th place, sorry, between us and QRM, just a point in between it. Bordeaux definitely deserved to get promoted, but we beat them over the tie. Just a 2-0 one game helped us out massively. But looking through this league, someone like Saint Etienne are down here. They're getting promoted as well. Bordeaux, obviously Paris FC, as Jaco Monaco, I mean, been a very big club. SM Kyan, I think, have only just been relegated. SC Bastia here, I remember there being a massive club on FIFA, like FIFA 10, 11. They're now going down to the 3rd tier. So an absolute stinker in terms of Ligue 2. There is going to be absolutely no surprise to see that PSG have won Ligue 1. 83 points, 10 clear of Marseille. It's FC Metz Clermont and FC Lorient being relegated down. In terms of how our squad performed this season, there was a couple of standout players. Pierre-Yves Hamel was fantastic. 39 games, 26 goals and 2 assists. He is 30 years of age and he's got a £2.6 million value. It might be time to cash in. He doesn't really play the style of system we play, but he had a very good season, so we shall see how he gets on. Thomas Aloea was our fullback, actually got 10 goals, 8 assists. Ian Kebal got 9 and 12. Lamine Diaby Fandinga, we scored a hat-trick in the first playoff game. He only scored 8 goals all season, but he was absolutely brilliant. He's a very quick little tricky winger slash striker, and I'm very happy with how he has performed. Hoseas Lucabia, 7 and 6. Amime Goli, 4 and 9. Johan Kone got 43 games and 3 goals. I locked him in at centre-back, and he was absolutely brilliant. Has progressed very, very well over the season. Obed Candimbio, I locked in a goalkeeper. 41 games, 6.92. Absolutely fantastic. But we have some news about him. He is opting out of extending his contract, and that ends this season. So if we were to go and enter contract discussions, he doesn't want to hear it at all. So it's going to be a difficult season going forward in terms of regenerating this squad to being a Ligue 2 squad, to being a Ligue 1 squad. In terms of finances, we've got £5 million in transfer budget. The wage budget, yeah, it's not a lot. We've got 45k to spend, but overall, we've just got £152,000. And when you compare that to how the top division is looking, that's around £7.9 million per annum. So the same as Clermont, who got relegated, Metz, Toulouse. PSG, 211 million. Around 30 times our salary. And we've got to someday compete with them. So this is going to be a long old journey. Let me know down below how long you think it is going to take us to topple PSG and then win the Champions League. This could be our longest one yet. Obviously, I'm excited to get into things with transfers. We are doing, of course, the Moneyball approach. So in terms of this, if you haven't seen the video before, there is a video on the channel explaining exactly how to do the Moneyball approach. So go ahead and watch that one. But let's get into our signings for Season 2. So as mentioned, sadly, Obed has left the club. He's gone to join OGC Nice, and that's just so annoying because he'd be our first team goalkeeper. He is not going to be their first team goalkeeper, and we have lost an absolute superstar. The only for sale for a little bit of money and a little bit of relevance is Timothy Kolodziak. Now, this guy's actually had a massive career in football, played at Schalke, St. Etienne, been over to Mexico, but has played in Sevilla, Borussia Mönchengladbach, and he was here last season, but he has left to go and join Hertha BSC, who we actually rebuilt the other day. So if you haven't seen that, feel free to go and watch that one. But of course, after this video, because we've got some signings to get into. Now, we're going to go through the free agent ones first of all. And number one is 30-year-old Mati Mitrovic, signed from Rekia on a free transfer. Consistent, Leipzig matches last season, a 7.19 over in Croatia. I can only imagine he was a similar situation to Obed and didn't want to renew his contract because he thought he'd reached sort of the max the club could do. So he wants to come to France, the top tier of France, and hopefully he'll be fantastic. And our second free agent signing is Toby Aliagbe, signed from Astilias Triopolis, I believe over in Greece. It was indeed. He dropped a 7.08 last season. Only played 10 games, but he did that the season before that, and it looks like he's never really played too many, but when he has played, he has been very good, and he comes in as a complete backup in DM. He's extremely consistent, so when he is needed, he can come into that ball in the field role very well. And the final of the free agent signings is Fran Kracic, signed from Rudez. He is an Australian right back, and last season dropped a 7.02 over in Croatia. Similar situation, left his club. Very good crossing and dribbling for a fullback. Now, we know how difficult it is to get good fullbacks with that, especially as we go later into this rebuild. Looking at regens, it's basically impossible. So this guy for now is going to be very, very good. Decent speed in him as well and can defend. So excited to see what he can do. And finally, our first signing for a little bit of money. It's £500,000. It's Luka Subotic coming in from Sakaci over in Serbia. He is extremely determined, very good defensive offensively and hopefully will be a mainstay for a long time. Our most expensive signing is Herman Haugen. Now, this guy is a right back, but he can play pretty much anywhere on the pitch. Not that I'd recommend him to be a striker with 8 finishing, but he could probably do a good enough job. He's very consistent. He looks very good and well-rounded as well, and cost us around £900,000 all in from Viking over in Norway. He's had back-to-back very good seasons over there, so expected the same here. Matthias Lacava was our next signing. This guy seems to be a bit of a hidden gem wonder kid that I've seen a few times on different people's saves and streams. He is an absolute bargain. £600,000 signed from Venezuela. I must have got him from this season over at V's, and then he's gone back to his main club and dropped a stinker, but we saw him over at V's and he was very good in the second tier or the top tier of Portugal. Very good flair, penalty taking, dribbling and crossing, decent speed on him as well. Was already a 4-star player, potential to get even better, and it can get up a £5 million value already. And our final signing is a brand new keeper to, of course, replace Obed. Is Bartosz Miliacek, signed from Ligue Poznan over in Poland. £250,000, conceded just 11 goals in 19 games last season. A very, very good record, a 7.07 as well, and hopefully it's going to be very, very good for us. And it means our square is looking quite different this season, but hopefully good enough to stay in the league. Mrazek in goal, Krasacic at right back, Kore, Subotic and Olilia at fullback, Marachetti and Chogui in DM, with Gueye, Kibal, Lacava and Hamel up top. He has stayed in because of his goal scoring performances last season using our Moneyball brain. That makes a lot of sense. Even if he doesn't fit our system just right, he didn't last season. He bagged 29 goals. So I'm hoping he can be the difference to us staying up this season. The media, of course, don't think that. We are 450 to 1 to win the league and probably massive favourites to lose every single game and not stay in the league. So let's try and prove them wrong. So as you can see, this season was awfully difficult. Not many wins throughout the whole year, and it meant we were down in the relegation playoffs. And if we lose this, we are back down in Ligue 2, and that is something we certainly didn't want. In the first leg, we were up against FC Metz, and we got absolutely battered. Well, not on the score sheet. It was 0-0, but throughout the whole game, they absolutely destroyed us. So taking things back home, hopefully we can have a better performance. And we had actually played them once before this season in the French Cup 9th round at home, and they beat us 3-2. So it's really not looking good. So getting off to a fast start was absolutely pivotal. So Fadigia had a ball through to Gueye, who had a great run, and he made it 1-0 in just 25 minutes. And just before the halftime whistle, a backstick cross from Lacava and a backstick header from Fadiaga made it 2-0, and we are going to make it 3-0 as well and secure the tie against Metz. Finally, we managed to beat them this season. They are staying in Ligue 2 and we are staying in Ligue 1. They did get a goal back in the 82nd minute, tried to mount a comeback, a great ball from Giallo to Diallo. It was 3-1. Luckily, the tie was over, and in this game, we were actually a hell of a lot better. 9 shots to their 7, a better XG and better possession. Overall, it was deserved. As we actually look at the table, though, it was a very, very tight affair. We were on 30 points, 1 point away from being automatically relegated, but also 1 point away from 14th with Brest. Now, they actually had a negative 31 goal difference, and in my opinion, they should have been in that game and not us. We were level on points with Toulouse, but due to goal difference, we were down in 16th, but we snuck through, thankfully, to them goals there. In the season, PSG were a joke, 93 points, 98 goal difference. Mbappe hasn't left, which is just great, isn't it? And Kalmouani is also pretty good. Have they won the Champions League, though? Well, I can confirm they have not. Liverpool have just beat Real Madrid in the title. And last season, I forgot to show you, I'll be showing you every single year, but they actually got to the final and lost to Real Madrid. So we are still looking to be the first team in Paris to win the Champions League. Hopefully, we can make it happen. Do you think we will? I don't know if we will. If it gets to 8, 9, 10, 7, whatever it is years until we win it, Mbappe's still there and he's not won a Champions League, he's doing something incredibly wrong. In terms of star performers this year, Ilian Cabal got a 6.92, dropped 11 goals, but he really was our only main performer. The rest of the team was okay. I mean, it's a season when we come 16th and then he got relegated. Of course, it wasn't a great season, but to be expected. We have got a little bit of value in the club. Cabal at 6 million, Johan Corre at 5.8, Marchetti at potentially up to 3 or 4 million pounds. But really, there is not a lot of money here, and there's also not a lot of money from the board either. Just 5 million and 4k in wage budget. So we're really going to have to get our Moneyball in and use this scouting method to our absolute maximum. Well, we were able to raise a little bit more money, 875k to be exact. Lamine Diaby Fadiga left the 350k to Portimao, one of the biggest sales we made. It wasn't a lot of money, but it was something we have lost, and he has scored some big goals for us. So respect to Fadiga. Mamadou Kante's also left 2 FC Mets to see, you know, if he can try and save them because they are absolutely mudded. But there was just 4 signings on our end. Number 1 was a free agent of Mateo Maric, a Bosnian central defensive midfielder. Very good teamwork, loves big matches, 141 games over at Lokomotivia over in Croatia, and last season a 7.04. Good enough for me. Hopefully a bit of consistency in DM. £135,000 signed on another player from Lokomotivia, their winger in Gabriel Groznikia. This guy's extremely consistent but doesn't like big matches. That doesn't worry me. We don't play very many of them. He's not the quickest, but he's got some good dribbling, got some good crossing, and a very good rotation option. We then finally spent over £1 million, and it was on a left back in Marcus Bagason, signed from IFK Norrköping. Is a very good left back, decent enough speed, good crossing and dribbling again, good determination. Hopefully can be good enough for us here. And finally, the brand new striker we've signed to replace Fadiaga is Dusan Jovanovic. This guy cost us £2.4 million from Partizan. Good finishing, first touch, decent physical stats as well. Only 19 years of age, 2.3 million last season in the top side of Serbia. 13 games, 7 goals and 3 assists, a 7.27. 2.3 million is an absolute bargain for someone that clearly knows how to find the back of the net. And of course, he comes straight in up front. Cabal behind him in Cam, Lakava and Guille in the wing positions, Marchetti and Shagu in DM, Bergesen, Kracic, Corre, Mitrovic and Mozek in goal. There is a good chance this season we are going to move away from being a relegation threatened side and hopefully move up into sort of that 12th to 15th. I'm not going to go too crazy, but as long as we're not in the playoffs again, it's a massive dub. Oh, that is exactly where we finished, in 12th place, 38 points, 8 points better off than last season. Still a negative 17 goal difference, but even that is improved by 7. We are going to be quick firing a few of these seasons now until we sort of get into contention for Europe, because I don't want to waste anyone's time too much. One thing I will say, Mbappe's still here and he's still quite good. Have they lifted the Champions League yet? Oh, is that? No, I don't think they have. I don't think they have. I was going to say that looked to me like it was the Champions League. It's not. It's Bayern Munich. Thank the Lord. Still no Champions League for PSG. Also in the French Cup, I will mention when we do well, we got 10th round this time against AEC Ajaccio. I actually don't know whereabouts that is. 2 away from the quarterfinals. So a fairly decent showing, but not the greatest. But we did survive and we were nowhere near relegation, which is a massive, massive dub. In fact, we were like, what was that, 17 points away from relegation. So we've done bits this season, and I'm actually very, very happy with how that's gone there. I also now want to start keeping an eye on how we do against PSG. The first game we lost 5-0, and the second game we lost 3-0 with a red card. That's basically 3 points. It's going to be ridiculous to try and catch them, but at some point we will get there. In terms of goal scorers this season, Dusan Jovanovic was fantastic. 30 games, 11 goals. His value is already up to £20 million. We might need to cash on him pretty soon because the rest of the squad is nowhere near as good as him. Gabriel Groznikia cost us 130k. Come in, dropped a 7.05 average rating, 4 goals, 10 assists in 28 games. An absolute Moneyball bargain. Very, very happy with that one. Kibal 4 and 3, a decent season, and the rest of them were just okay. There's no one absolutely stand out. There's no one getting loads of assists. Groznikia was that guy and was an absolute bargain. So very happy with that signing. The board are just slowly giving us more money. £9 million now in terms of transfer budget, but it's not looking great finances wise. We are slowly building, but when you think PSG probably have $1 billion sitting there, we're on 13 million. So it's a long old road. Well, this season, the outgoings were very, very minimal. Semi Mahur left to Huesca for 11k and Andy Pembele for 76. So we still had £9 million to spend. but I decided not to spend any of it. Well, that doesn't mean there was absolutely no signings, because there's 4 free agents that massively improved our side, and we didn't absolutely ruin the bank balance. So quite clever from me. Sarvelli is number 1, a free agent signing. He is Russian, signed from Lokomotiv Moscow. Last season, a 7.01. He's actually a false 9 striker. Can also play as an advanced forward, but very good at linking the play up. So can also play in the cam role. Extremely consistent and likes big matches. Fasson is signing number 2, also from Lokomotiv Moscow. Very consistent, doesn't quite like big matches, but 6'2", very good defensively, 12 heading, 11 marking, and 13 tackling. Decent enough, like mentally as well. So when it comes to him being able to play up from the back, he shouldn't get caught too often. So very happy with Fasson. Jonathan Russell was our next one, and he's actually released from Barnsley. This guy come through the Chelsea Academy and has never really had a massive impact anywhere. But last season, the Championship, 24 games, 5 goals, 3 assists, a 7.09. He comes in as one of our best players, a 4-star current ability, so a little bit worrying, but actually a very good signing. He's got 38 caps for Jamaica. He's consistent and comes in as a very good midfielder. And finally is Andrea Raduljevic, released from Vojvodina over in Serbia. And I've signed this guy a few times. He's always really good, but I've never got him on a free, so I decided this time we would take that risk on him. Last season, a 7.26. Season before that, 7.13. And the season before that, a 7.11. So very consistent, love scoring goals, and hopefully is going to help us here at Paris FC. The team is looking great. Morozek, Haugen, Kore, Mitrovic, Bagason, Marchetti, Russell, Raduljevic, Kebel, Lakava, and Jovanovic, as well as a decent enough sort of backup 11 as well. And like I said as well, we haven't destroyed the bank balance. We were slowly building up. I decided rather than pump £8 million in, go down to being just above sort of going into negatives, because projection-wise, it probably is quite rough. It is indeed. So let's try and be a little bit clever so that when we do get into Europe, we have a bit more money. I think this season we could potentially push to finishing, I don't know, just outside sort of 9th to 7th, and then the season after that we'll get up into Europe. Of course, the media predict us to be absolutely awful, but we know this thing is absolute waffle. Well, we did have our best season in the French Cup. We got all the way to the 11th round and lost to Brest 1-0, but 1 away from the quarterfinals, so we are getting there. Anything that is slightly disappointing is we actually managed having a worse season in the league. We come down in 13th place, 42 points. No idea. Jovanovic, only 3 goals away from top goal scorer, away from Mbappe. I mean, the fact he's even competing is fairly impressive. I mean, that's very big to have a striker that's actually out there scoring some goals. Champions League-wise, it's still not them. They haven't won it yet again. Barcelona 2-1 against Liverpool. PSG, Mbappe, mate, if I was you, I'd be getting out ASAP, because you're tearing out the French League, but you're not winning the Champions League. Get yourself to Madrid, mate. Jovanovic, 17 goals. Kebal, 10 goals. Raduljevic, a free agent, 8 goals and 7 assists. Jonathan Russell, 6 and 1. Groznikia, 5 and 9. Lakava, 4 and 1. One thing we are seeing here, really, is that the signings we are making through Moneyball have actually been fantastic. In terms of the youth academy, we'll go through that in just a second. But actually the players that are being used, Bagason, 12 assists from left back. He cost us just, how much did he cost us? £1.2 million. This season, a very strong season over at left back. Maric, a decent enough season, 21 off the bench, but he was a free agent. Very good. I'm very happy with how this Moneyball thing is going. Obviously, we have done a poll recently about keeping the Moneyball around every single week, well, for like 10 days, because they're starting to take a lot longer than usual. And you guys are well up for it, so thank you for the support on the Moneyball saves. They are going to be staying around. And it is also worth mentioning as well that they are all available over on Patreon. Massive thank you to legends coming on the screen right now. If you do want to help support me on any way on Patreon, obviously over the summer, YouTube views aren't quite as good, so if you do want to help support me in any way, Patreon is a massive way, £5 a month, and you also get a brand new save the trial. You know, whether it's this Paris save, whether it's the Hertha save from the other day, or even from like a couple of months ago, a Leicester save. They are all on there and available for you guys to download, £5 a month, and it helps me so much if you do want to do that. Link is down below. Let's get in voter season number 5. As mentioned, currently we're in quickfire mode. Well, what a lovely piece of business this is. Mr. Jonathan Russell, the free signing from Barnsley, has left us to go and join Al Shabab, and given it Saudi money, we'll take a nice £11 million after 1 season from a free agent. Thank you, Jonathan Russell. And not quite as good, but still decent. We have sold Vladislav Sarvelli. Again, just 1 season here at the club. He was sold for £1.3 million. we are absolute geniuses when it comes to selling players. And overall, in terms of sales, we did sell over £12.75 million worth of players. So we went over and actually spent some money, this time just under 10 million. And the first one is a big one. We have signed Chris Brady for $5.5 million from Chicago. I've decided we need a goalkeeper. We're in the bottom half of the table. Last season, we regressed. This season, we are looking to become a lot more defensively solid, and having a goalkeeper like Chris Brady who loves big matches and is consistent, only 23 years of age, and is fantastic, exactly what we need. 7.04 last season over in the MLS. He is what we need to take us forward. As is this beautiful right back in Valiga Frikason, a Icelandic right back signed from BK Häcken. Hopefully he can do what Baggerson done on the left, but on the right, he's incredibly consistent, and we can do that crossing to get more assists. Matija Stejpanovic is a £1 million signing from Partizan, an incredibly well-rounded player who is very consistent as well. Valentino Fattore is a right back we have signed. This guy is a Spanish player. He is consistent, and it was actually signed from Greece. He's had a couple of very good seasons over Iaconius in the second tier and in the top tier as well. So hopefully he can make the step up to being a good backup right back in the top tier of France. And Andrej Duric is our new backup left back to Baggerson. He cost us £500,000 from Savernia. Savestia is just 23 years of age and is more of a sort of defensive, sorry, he's a centre back, not a left back. I don't know where that come from. He's a backup centre back. He looks good. He's 23 years of age. But that's not it in terms of signings, because there's three free agent ones. And number one is Oscar Allegard. And guess where he's a backup? Left back. And he actually is as well. Decent going forward, very good speed, consistent. Aside from Odell Bense over in Denmark. And I'm excited to see what he can do as a backup to Baggerson. Giannis Machianidis comes in to be our starting centre-back. He is a Greek international, 27 years of age. And it's over at PAOK. Weirdest thing, apparently his first season was in 2005-2006 over Akad Gangstensson from Greece. That would mean he was, how old? 5 or 6 years of age. I don't think that's correct. Massive bug in Football Manager exposed. But a decent free agent signing who's done bits over at POK in the last few years. And finally, a banger free agent signing. Jadon Filonche is a fantastic winger, and I can't quite remember when we won the Champions League with Jadon. It could have been Standard over in Belgium, but this guy is fantastic. The last 4 years in the Championship, after signing for $5 million for Hull from Aston Villa, he's got a 7.23, 7.25, 7.42, 7.28. Never left the Championship. His contract has run out, and we have picked him up. £36,000 a week, and is an actual superstar who comes into this team as by far the best attacking player. I say that, Jovanovic is still up front and looking brilliant. Kibal in at cam, Raduljevic at right wing, Stejpanovic and Marchetti in DM, Baggerson at left back, Fridriksson at right back, Corey, Duric and Brady in goal. Johan Corey, still at the club, still the main centre-back, now 22 years of age, looking fantastic. Now, I have mentioned as well, we are getting some players through the Youth Academy. They're not all great, but they're okay. There's some good 5-star ones. I don't know if they'll ever turn into anything. Mohamed Lamine Daoud is 5-star currently for us, but 5-star for us is a good Ligue player. We're looking for superstars by the time he gets there at 20 years of age. Hopefully, we're challenging for a Champions League in season 9, I believe that will be. So they might not really get anywhere. And as mentioned, the club hasn't got the greatest of youth sort of recruitment and facilities. I have been asking to improve it. The board haven't really been spending too much of the money that is in the bank. Even with last season spending absolutely nothing, this season, obviously we have spent money, but sold players as well. We have £7 million in the bank. So we need to get into Europe ASAP. And this season, I think we can do it. We are finally predicted not to come bottom of the league, but second bottom. So let's go for it in season 5. Well, I bring you back with some highlights, which can only mean a good thing. It's a semi-final of the French Cup. We do go 1-0 down, but Johnson makes it 1-1. And the penalties are going to carry on because the game goes all the way to penalties. And Ilian Cabal makes it 1-0. Boysgard makes it 1-1. And the fact we're actually here is fantastic. Jovanovic makes it 2-1. Di Gusto makes it 2-2. Stejpanovic, he makes it 3-2. And finally, some heartbreak. Mateta, who's been a bagsman for Crystal Palace recently, misses the penalty. Brady saves. Philipponje scores his penalty. Horvat scores his. And if I know FM very well, it won't show us the last penalty, which it hasn't. And we actually ended up winning the last goal scored by Haugen. A 5-3 victory on penalties. We're into the French Cup final. And it's not even against PSG, so some would say we have a chance. It's against Marseille. But sadly, Talismano gets off to a good start. Well, 60 minutes in actually is the first goal. And they are going to score a second. Jairus Chotard was in at the back stick. Magno in the box. And Brozier is there for 2-0. And all hopes of winning the French Cup left in the 80th minute. A penalty from Sergi Gomez. But I'm very, very happy. We may have lost 3-0 in the French Cup final. But what an improvement from not even getting to the quarters to the final of a cup. Paris FC. A fantastic, fantastic season. But the best thing is, this wasn't even the best season yet. We have come 5th in the top tier of France, 1 point away from Champions League football. Now, yes, PSG have won it, but what an improvement. We spent a bit of money. We brought in some absolute superstars. And Dusan Jovanovic this season, 25 goals, the top goal scorer in France. Kylian Mbappe, who are you, son? You're not even the best striker in Paris anymore. They got 86 points and a 63 goal difference. I've already checked it. Have they won the Champions League? Guess what? They haven't. Liverpool have won it again, which hurts me a little bit. But at least it wasn't PSG, which is absolutely hilarious. So now 5 seasons in, still no trophy for PSG in the Champions League. There's a legitimate chance we could be the first club in Paris to win a Champions League. And next season, we are in the Europa League. So there's a good chance of us actually winning European silverware, realistically before PSG, because they have won the European Cup Winners' Cup. I mean, that's obviously a very old trophy, 1996. Since the Europa League, Champions League and Conference League, they haven't won anything. I think that's correct, by the way. I think the Cup Winners' Cup is... I don't really know what it is, to be honest. It's before my time. But I think if we win the Europa League or the Conference League, we'd effectively lift a European trophy before PSG. And that would be absolutely fantastic. Now, in terms of the league, there is rumours here that France is a bit of a farmers' league. And as you look through PSG absolutely dominating, I would agree. But it's looking like we might start upsetting the apple cart. So let's get into how our players performed. Jovanovic, 26 goals, 2 assists. Obviously, we signed him for £2.4 million. He is listed because he does want to leave, which is very, very sad. £12 million value, little bit of a joke, but we'll take what we can get. I'd like to try and get 15, 20. I do think he'll leave because he is absolutely smashing it. Jaden Philipponje, unreal. 7.07, 12 goals, 9 assists, 34 games. As I've said, I have won a Champions League with this guy already in a different save. If you've never used Jaden, get him into your teams. He's fantastic. 23 to 28 million pound in value. Gabriel Groznica, £130,000 we signed this guy for. 3 seasons in a row. He has been fantastic. And this year, 10 goals, 8 assists, a 7.19. Unbelievable. Matthias Lacava still here doing bits as well. Gudjonsson, Andre Lucas Gudjonsson. Why don't I know who you are? Where did you come from? Did I make an error in the save file? I might have done. It looks like I signed this guy for £1.9 million last season. I must have spent some money somewhere. Apologies, I've missed a signing in Andre Lucas Gudjonsson. He scored 4 goals in 15 games. He is not the most sort of, influential player, but he obviously played at Cam at some point. I'll be honest, I simmed this about 2 weeks ago. I've got a new Steam Deck and I'm absolutely addicted to it. So Gudjonsson, we obviously signed, he was okay last season as well. Baggerson, 11 assists. Fridriksson doing the same on the right with 10 assists, which is great because both of our fullbacks are absolutely smashing it. Next season, we've got European football. So the board haven't even helped us a little bit. £5 million in transfer budget, 6k in wage budget. And our squad certainly isn't big enough to compete in Europe and keep up this ridiculous form in the league as well. So let's get into it. We're starting to get interesting. Season 6. So number 1 sale is Gabriel Groznica. He is leaving the club after asking to leave and not wanting to sort of increase his contract at all. He ends up intermediating him and he's off to Bristol City. Genuinely, this guy, though, a very, very good player. 130k. Has been brilliant. And in terms of outgoings, he's pretty much it. There's 3 players there. Halgun, who I think has been involved for quite a while, 39k. But it's time to bring in 5 new players. First of all, the free agents, a brand new left backs in Yanis Hamache. This guy can play left wing, he's so attacking, but he is coming in to be a left back. He is a free kick taking, crossing, pacey machine. He's been over at Aruca in Portugal and he looks absolutely fantastic for free as well. So does Elias Hoff-Mackerson. This guy is a right wing cam or striker, signed with a free release from Stromgutset, consistent, likes big matches, both footed and attempts overhead kicks. So I'm a massive, massive fan. I like it. Maybe he's going to pull off a Garnacho at some point in the season. Someone that I don't think is going to be doing that is Peter Reinhardsson. He's a centre-back / right-back, so if he does, I'm a little bit worried. But again, it's really consistent and is coming in to be a backup. A £700,000 signing and our first regen signing as well from Napredak, I believe, over in Serbia. It is indeed. After dropping a 7.02, we're looking for a brand new backup right-back. And this is the issue with FM regens. Fullbacks that can't cross. It just seems to be a thing none of them can ever. So this guy's decent, but that's probably the best we're going to get 10 crossing going forward. As a backup, hopefully he's okay. And the final signing is another new centre-back in Filip Roque. This season we have really gone for improving the defensive attributes of the team. And Roque comes into the squad. Now, Jovanovic is still here and up front. He is still wanted by lots and lots of clubs, but I've decided I'm not going to sell him for cheap. He's got a value currently of £9 million. He's a leading Ligue 1 player. He does want to leave. He's unhappy. He wants to move to a stronger squad, but simply, I can't. That is not Moneyball. If I sell our best player for pennies, that's just stupid. So I'm holding out for a big offer for him. It'll probably come next season if we do well in Europe. We've got Jaden still here on the left, Johnson in Cam, Radulovic on the right, Stejpanovic and Machiliadis in DM with Hamashe, Roque, Johan Kore, Fridriksson and Chris Brady in goal. This season, Europa League football. Let's see if we can compete. Well, we'll start off in Europe, shall we? Because guess what? We've got into the top 8 of the league phase. 5 goal difference links us just above Ajax, who we are now competing with. 5 wins against Ferencváros, KF Tavernier, Braga, Cologne and Sheriff Tiraspol. A draw against Molde and 2 losses against PSV and Valencia. Round of 16, we are there. But apparently Valencia are absolute kryptonite. We faced them in the round of 16 and they beat us 4-0 in the first leg. It would take an absolute miracle to come back from this. And we of course know that Paris is the city of love, but can it be the city of comebacks and stories? I don't know what just happened there. Jovanovic makes it 1-0 with a goal in the 12th minute, so a pretty good start. Bagerson whips it in. It falls to Jovanovic. It's all over the place, and it's finished in by Middleton to make it 2-0. And guess what? It's 3-0. Jaden finds Good Johnson at the back stick. But sadly, that was it. And we were out by a singular goal. I can't believe that. We come top 8. And we face against Valencia, a very decent side. And Richarlison played in this game. And they beat us by a single goal. After losing 4-0 away from home, we won 3-0 at home. But sadly, our European journey is over. And also, sadly, we didn't exactly have the greatest season when it comes to the French Cup either. Got 11th round by Troy. So sadly, nothing here for us either. But what does make me happy is the fact that PSG still have not won the Champions League. Absolutely hilarious. I don't even know if they're getting very far every single time. At this point, Marseille are more of a threat to bringing it back to France. Obviously, it's bringing it back to Paris, but they got knocked out by Man City in the quarterfinals, which is unlucky. I think last season was the same by Liverpool as well. It just seems like PSG are ridiculously unlucky. In terms of Ligue 1, though, I'm actually very impressed with how we ended up performing. Obviously, this season, the Europa League in the 11th round of the French Cup and finishing 7th in the league, which means UEFA Conference League, and there is a very good chance we could lift that trophy as one of the better teams in there. 13 wins this season, 11 draws, 10 losses, a positive goal difference, and think of how many extra games we played in the Europa League. Managing to still finish in that position is absolutely fantastic. And as you look at actually the competition screen, you can sort of see where we started to dip a little bit when we were starting to play, or when we finished up all of them games. Squad was battered as we got the games back under our belt, finishing in 7th place. Miles off Champions League football, but very happy. Conference League I actually don't mind either, because I expect we can definitely win that trophy and get our first silverware under our belt. Now, in terms of the squad, how are things looking? Jovanovic fell off this season. I don't know why. Obviously, he doesn't want to be here. 14 goals and 5 assists. Still a decent season. Value as a backup to being a whole host of money. And it comes from a UAE want him. So hopefully we can get some good money. Jaden, fantastic. 14 and 10. Melkerson, the very cheap free agent signing, I believe, actually. Did very good. 7 goals and 4 assists. Was a very decent player for us. In terms of our best player over the course of the whole season, it was Jaden Philippon-J in terms of actually who played a bunch of games. He was great. And Chris Brady as well, a 7.02 in goal. Now his value is a little bit crazy. We're looking at £58 million, and he does want to move to a bigger squad. Now I didn't mind that if we get somewhere in the region of £58 million, because in terms of finances, that would sort us right out. So let's get into next year. Well, you know what? We were actually quite lucky with Chris Brady. He's still here at the club, and the reason for that is he broke his finger in a game, and anyone that was bidding on him, he was actually accepted, like I accepted a bid for him for £50 million. They pulled out because of the injury. Broken lower arm is quite a big one. We have now got a goalkeeper that isn't going to be there for the start of the season, but I'm quite happy we've kept hold of Chris Brady. That doesn't mean there was no big sales though. Vladimir Frederiksen, after a very good couple of seasons as our right back, has led the club to go to Al Jazeera. We managed to raise £15 million. £13 million in profit, a massive dub. We also finally sold Dusan Jovanovic. Now, we didn't quite get as much money as I'd liked, but after last season's massive drop-off, I was able to cash in. 12.25 million, still £10 million in profit. And as you can see, 11 goals, 17 goals, 25 goals, and as soon as he wanted to leave, down to 10 goals. So I felt it was the right sort of time to get our money for him, £12.5 million. The budget is looking very strong. That's £30 million raised from 2 players, and there is also a bunch of other signings as well. Yanis Tamache for £8 million, Ilian Cabal for 3, Radulovic for 1.2, Rougier for 750. We had a lot of money to spend. We in fact spent £28 million of it. And there is a lot of signings, so we'll go from expensive to cheap. Number 1, Noah Mikic, £6 million from Dynamo Zagreb, a very attacking right back who is an absolute demon. Vadim Rakov is number 2, signed from Lokomotiv Moscow for £4 million. Incredibly consistent, great composure, decent finishing, our brand new striker. Benedict Bern is our next big regen signing for £4.5 million, an Austrian capped centre back at 21 years of age. He's got great bravery, work rate, determination, and teamwork. A very good build-up from the back centre-back. Bogdan Milicevic is our next, signed from Partizan, £3.5 million. He is incredibly inconsistent, but he does love big matches, and we're starting to have more of them. Very good dribbling, good determination, and decent physicals. Karan Kurnaz is our first regen striker that has been signed, £2.6 million. Great bravery, flair, and technique. Good physicals as well. 12 finishing, 12 composure. Can be improved, but he is the Turkish striker with 3 caps under his belt. Back to Partizan, and it's Zoran Alilovic coming in for £1.9 million. Great flair, agility, a superb central attacking midfielder, and Partizan really is the place to sign these players. Well, overall, Serbia is in general, because Nikola Stankovic comes in from Sakaci for 1.6. Incredibly consistent, loves big matches, and is a great DM/centre mid. Anan Zulic comes in as a Slovenian centre-back signed from Viborg. He has got 9 caps for the national team, incredibly consistent, loves big matches, great heading, marking, tackling, and great jumping reach as well, so a real danger from corners. David Juric comes in for 1.7 million to be another backup left-back. He's just 23 years of age, he can cross, he can get forward, and he's also decently quick. Our final signing for money, £1.2 million, an awful signing, Matteo Peralta. Good finishing, good composure, good pace, but a 2-star player. He is incredibly consistent. He does like big matches. I don't know if he's going to be that good in the actual game. Last season, he scored 10 goals in 14 for Lanús over in Argentina. If he can bring that here, a massive, massive fan. And our final free agent signing is Vladimir Matic, signed from Voldezhinia. Only 9 finishing, but 17 first touch, 17 technique. Was a free agent who looks very decent, incredibly consistent, can play up front or on either wing, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. The team is looking incredibly different. A whole host of signings this summer. Chris Brady still in goal, Noah Mikic at right back, Bernd, Zulic, Djuric, Michaladis, and Stejpanovic in DM. Miricetovic, Aliovic, Jaden Philipponje, and Kanan Kulas leads the line. We've got Cavalier, a wonder kid through the academy in backup goalkeeper, Sekpekovic, Johan Kore, Rolke, Bagason, Marchetti, Stankovic, Melkerson, Rakov, Matic, and Peralta as our leading backups. I mean, what a transformation. And in terms of the club itself, things are still looking good. £17 million in the bank, and hopefully a European trophy at the end of this season. Well, it seems like European League phases is where we come into our element, because we finished 5th in this one, 4 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. The loss coming to Bucharest, who again, we have rebuilt using Moneyball already. We drew the Jewel Gardens and beat Dynamo Bucharest, the Olympiacos, Sivasspor, and Servette. 3 points off the top against Midtjylland, but a very good start. And this time we don't go out in the run of 16. We flew past Brøndby 6-3 on aggregate, and the exact same goes for FC Midtjylland, a 9-1 victory on aggregate, and these were the team that actually won the league phase coming top. So surely we are favourites. Well, in the semi-finals, we were facing up against Rangers, and actually they got off to a fantastic start thanks to a backstick goal from Rabbi Matondo, and we were actually the home team in this game. So lucky enough for us, we did get a goal back thanks to a finish from Zoran Alilovic. But second round, we had to go away at Ibrox. And there was not a single goal scored before the extra time whistle went. So Alijevic got us off to a great start in the 99th minute to make it 1-0. But a bit of silly play at the back. They high press with Cifuentes and it makes it 1-1 in the 105th minute. And one man who scored all the goals so far in this semi-final tie, Zoran Alijevic, is going to make it 2-1. And we are going to be through to a Europa Conference League final. And it was FC Augsburg in our way. A decent side in Germany, but I certainly fancied us. And after Bogdan Milicevic signed Rakov in the middle to make it 1-0 in 44 minutes, I was feeling ever so confident. And that confidence only grew as the game went on. Jadon Philippongier made it 2-0 from distance, and he whips the ball in for a 3-0 backstick header from Zulic in the 55th minute. Zoran Alijevic then stepped up to make it 4-0 in the 79th. And now the 81st minute, we decided to put a stamp on things, and a great tiki-taka move, a finish past the goalkeeper, 5-0 to Paris FC, and we've won a European trophy. And regardless of what happens if PSG do win the Champions League, we have won a European trophy before them, because the Conference League gets played before the date of the Champions League final. So up the Paris FC. I don't even know if they've won it PSG yet, but just in case, we have won a European trophy before PSG. And if you're a West Ham fan, you know, champions of Europe and all that, up the Paris FC, a massive victory, and we've lifted our first actual piece of silverware this season. Now the first thing I want to check very quickly is if they did win the Champions League, and it looks to me it was actually Manchester City with a 6-2 victory over Real Madrid. And guess what, they were quarterfinaled yet again by Real Madrid on penalties, and PSG just cannot catch a break. And I mean, they are going to win Ligue 1 yet again, but we have come in 6th place. We are in the Europa League next season after winning the Conference League. And I think we're making massive strides. The team has adapted so well to the massive influx of players. We've lost our star striker and we were absolutely fine. We are now making a press on. Can we win the Europa League and then win the Champions League? We have not done that once in these Moneyball rebuilds. Won all 3 European trophies. So that would be absolutely amazing to win. In terms of the French Cup, 9th rounded by Troy. So not the greatest of seasons, but we move on from that. In terms of goals scored, Vladimir Rakov, 19 goals and 2 assists. Alijevic, 13 and 9. Milicevic, 9 goals, 16 assists. Free agent signing Elias Hoff-Melkerson, 12 goals and 2 assists. Wonder Kid Kernaz, 7 and 2 assists. And Jadon, again, being absolutely fantastic. Chris Brady's value is now astronomical, £69 million. He is unhappy. He wants to move to a bigger squad. We might let it happen this season, and possibly the same for Jadon as well, because he's now 28 years of age. And I would take £30 million for him, because we can invest that strongly. Noah Mikic has been here for a year, and he wants to leave to go to a bigger squad as well. £28 million in value. He was great last season, but I would sell him. And Zoran, we signed for £1.3 million. He's progressed very well and already a value of 27 million. So we are doing bits. Let's get into Season 8. I tell you what, I'm really not complaining. No offers for Chris Brady. I would take the £68 million. I asked him out a few times. Asked the agent, because it's the best way to do it. No one come in. I'm fine with that. Chris Brady, mate, you can stay here and be our number 1, because that value was going nowhere. And realistically, with outgoings, there wasn't many. Only £3.2 million. A few players that we have signed didn't quite work out, have left the club. And I actually only spent £5.5 million this summer. Our first signing is a free agent in Aliyar Sani Mandiesh. He is an Iranian winger / striker who has really just been brought in to be a good rotation option. And another free agent in Nicola Morrow is a 32-year-old central defensive midfielder. Brings that bit of experience and quality into the midfield of great passing vision and teamwork. So very good on either feet, very consistent, a very good player to have in and around the squad. We then went over to Brazil and found this beautiful wonder kid in Rodalto Larios. Cost us just £1.9 million, signed from Gramao. He looks absolutely brilliant. Nikola Simic was our next, just £500,000 signed from Partizan, a very good young centre-back. And finally, Jose Rodriguez. We've been to the USA once and got Chris Brady. This time we're looking for the next Tom Brady in CDM to be our quarterback, linking out things from the back, and he looks very good at that as well. Hopefully, Jose can be fantastic. Signed from St. Louis City. Hopefully, he can be a danger man for us. The team this season doesn't look too different, to be honest. Chris Brazy, Mikic, Darius, Zulic, Djuric, Stankovic, Stepanovic, Miracetovic, Alijovic, Fidonje, and Rakov. You can tell we like going over to Serbia and Croatia and finding very good players. It's just the best place for Moneyball players. Genuinely, if you're doing a Moneyball save, Scout, Partizan, they're all going to be above a 7 average rating. They're all fantastic wonder kids. It's great fun using them as well. I feel like we do mix things up quite a lot, and I think this team is actually very, very different to what we normally use. I'm very happy with how the team looks. In terms of finances, the club is looking okay. Obviously up and down with the European positions, but once we get Champions League money, things will be great. Let's make a stand then. Ligue 1, we're coming for you. We're back in the Europa League, keeping in Europe 3 years in a row and keeping in that top 8 yet again. We finished in 6th position. We're straight into the runners 16 up against KRC Genk. Away from home, we won 2-0. At home, a 0-0 draw. We're straight into the quarters. And we got a very difficult tie in Atletico Madrid. And the first game against the Wanda Metropolitano, Julian Alvarez is here and he makes it 1-0 for Atletico Madrid, but we are going to make it 2. Miracetovic coming in from the edge of the box makes it 1-0, 2 goals in the game, of course. They are going to make it 2 from this corner and give us a job to do at home. And it was Bogdan Miracetovic that got us off to a fantastic start in this game, making things 1-0. But there was no other goals until the 95th minute. And it was a signing that people probably question on a free agent. The Iranian winger, Aliyar, at the back stick, scored the winning goal against Atletico Madrid. And I tell you what, the signing was actually very good. 17 games, 50 on the bench, 5 goals, 3 assists. Free agent looks completely mid, but was actually a massive goal scorer for us in that huge games. And it means we're through to the semi-finals. And it was my team, Manchester United, that little old Paris FC was up against. And Stepanovic found Alijovic in the box to make it 1-0 in the first leg. And that was it. We beat Manchester United here at the Paris FC Stadium. We had to go to the historic Old Trafford. However, at this point in 2031, it's probably prehistoric at this point, and the team actually doesn't look very different either. Miracetovic puts a goal past Onana at Old Trafford to make things 1-0. Scott finds the ball into the back stick, and Hoyland pokes it away from Rashford, and he makes it 1-1. Anthony then finds Kobe Mainu to make it 2-1. At this point, we are tight. We need 1 goal to win this game. So Djuric on the left-hand side beats his man. Jose Rodriguez hits the post. And Bogdan Miracetovic is there yet again. A 2-2 draw. But thanks to our 1-0 at home, we're into the Europa League final. And again, a highly questioned signing. A 95th minute winner from Morrow, from the edge of the box. We beat Borussia Dortmund 1-0. And the 2 free agent signings, which I wasn't, most pleased with when I got them in, we ended up scoring 2 massive goals, and we won the Europa League. And we know this rebuild doesn't end until we win a Champions League. We've won the Conference League, we've won the Europa League, and we're going to win the Champions League as well, which means we have done the treble of European trophies at some point in this rebuild anyway. The only thing that I will say is there has been a slight dampener on things, because PSG have finally won the Champions League, and it wasn't even meant to be a race against PSG into who can win a Champions League first, but sadly they are the winners of the Champions League. But what is pretty cool is the Europa League and the Champions League are in Paris together, and this time we will unite with PSG. You're not going to lie, I'm very angry. We've got 8 seasons in and they finally won it away from us. Luis Enrique as gaffer. A 32-year-old Mbappe has stayed here his whole career. He should have left. He definitely should have left. He's been ridiculous. 330 goals in 450 games. But overall, our season was absolutely brilliant. Not only did we win the Europa League, we also, in Ligue 1, got into 6th place again. So would have kept European football. Due to us winning that, we are in Champions League football next season with PSG, Lille, Lens, and Monaco. I will say this league is very hard to win. I don't know if we're actually going to win it in this rebuild. PSG have won it every single season. I'd hope that we'd try and win it at some point, but we might have to wait until Mbappe retires. We've got to try and win the Champions League up first, and that is, of course, the main goal for things this season. We had someone that I wasn't expecting being our superstar, was brilliant. Elias Hoff-Melkerson, a free agent, simply fantastic. 14 goals. Alijevic, 16 goals. Mirochetovic, 12 and 8. Jaden, 12 and 9. 4 and 11 for David Juric, 3 and 12 for Noah Mikic. Value-wise, Brady has kept that big value. Mikic up to £50 million. Alijevic up to 31. Filiponje, 28. Mirochetovic, 20 million. And of course, the board are giving us a little bit more money now we're going forward as well. £17 million. Season 9. This could be where we start silly season and go for it. Or it's the season I regret everything because Chris Brady has left in season 9. It's been so close to that next level. I simply couldn't keep him anymore. We managed to sell him for £54 million, rising up to £66 million. Fantastic goalkeeper. A value of £103 million now over there. And a sign for just £5.5 million, tenfold in money. That is how you do Moneyball right there. A fantastic sign. I'm absolutely buzzing with that sale. But obviously a bit of a sad one as well because now we need to find ourselves a new goalkeeper. But luckily that raised us quite a bit of money. So the goalkeeper we ended up signing was Daniel Kudyakov from Lokomotiv Moscow. He cost us £5.25 million. And if we compare him to Chris Brady, he's actually a better shot-stopping goalkeeper, better physically, better distribution, same aerially, better eccentricity, a little bit less in communication, better, same mental, same speed. £5 million. Now that is how you do it. You sell your goalkeeper for 66, you're bringing a bargain for 5. Welcome in Daniel in goal. We signed Nasir Njigia from Basel for, I believe, 8.5 million pounds. There's some unbelievable seasons over in the top flight of Switzerland. He comes in to be our best centre-back we've ever seen at this club. Pavel Meleshin comes in, a Russian sign from Spartak Moscow for £7 million of great finishing, poser, determination and speed. While being 6'3", this guy could be a danger man, extremely consistent and loves big matches. Luciano Cordoba is up next, a winger with fantastic dribbling, teamwork, vision and flair and technique. Give me a little bit of Messi vibes, incredibly consistent, left-footed as well. Excited to see what Luciano could do for just £6 million. Another Argentinian on the right side of things who's given me even more Messi vibes. Left-footed, off the right, flair, technique, dribbling, agility and balance. Signed from River Plate. Cost us a grand total of £7 million. Absolutely smashing it over there. A great little signing on the right wing. Fidel Ambriz is our next signing, a free agent signed from Club America, incredibly consistent, loves big matches and is a great DM. And our final signing is another goalkeeper just to come in and be a backup in Matthias Pluznicki, signed from Stal Milic over in Poland, starts off over at Lech Poznan. A consistent player, doesn't exactly love big matches, but is here to hopefully be a good enough backup if we do need him, which I'm hoping we don't. The squad looks absolutely fantastic. Kudyakov in goal, Mikic at right back, Giga, Zulic, Juric, Stejpanovic, Ambriz, Gomez, Alijevic, Cordoba, and Meleshin leads the line. A very strong squad. To the point where Jaden is on the bench. Mirochetovic on the bench. We have improved so much this season. It's ridiculous. That money from Chris Brady has certainly helped us. In terms of our competitions, we're in the UEFA Super Cup against PSG. The French Cup we need to win. Ligue 1 and the Champions League. Ligue 1 now predict us in 7th place. So we've got a good chance of actually being in contention to finish top 4 yet again. Let's get in to season 9. I'm going to start things off by looking at the Super Cup. We gave PSG an absolute battle and sadly just lost 3-2 thanks to an 115th minute goal from that geezer Jeremy Doku, who's quite good on FM. Sadly we lose this one, but showing we have got competition with PSG. And well, domestically it looks that way as well, as we are facing up against Monaco in the final of the French Cup. Now, one of my favourite Wanakers, Eliassé Benchagir, gets them off to a great start, but just a minute later we make it 1-0 thanks to a backstick header from Gigia, and we don't see anything now until extra time, where a ball in from Jaden Filiponje finds Nikola Simic to make it 2-1, and Jaden Filiponje wants a goal of his own. He drives it off the right wing, puts it past the keeper. We've also now won the French Cup. So currently we've won the French Cup, the Conference League, the Europa League. Now we need to win the French League and the Champions League. I want to bet you didn't think that this season was going to be the league. We actually won the title. 76 points. Not a great points tally at all. But PSG fell off. 68 points. Monaco 73. And we have won the top flight of France with Paris FC. Now, yes, the title stays in Paris. But finally, the streak of PSG has ended. And we have got a new team on the block. Paris FC have overtaken PSG. Absolutely massive to see. Did we also win the Champions League? Well, if our league phase positions anything to go off, probably not. We come 23rd and scrape through by a single point. So, knockout playoff round for us. And of course, we got drawn up against Bayern Munich as well. And Pavlovic found Moises Caicedo to find Can Uzun to make it 1-0 to the mighty Bayern Munich in the first game at our home stadium as well. But we had a lot to say. Larios found a ball to Balde at the edge of the box and he made it 1-1 with a great strike from distance. And Jadon Philipponje whips it in. It gets cleared to Gyögen, who finds Jadon on the left-hand side and he finishes home to make it 2-1. Now, the guy that scored that first goal was Alian Albunde, and he is a player through our youth academy worth £27 million, a very decent CDM this season. Played 24 games, got 3 goals, 4 assists and a 7.12. Our first proper youth academy player who actually done bits. They're just 18 years of age. Well, back to Bayern Munich, and this game was going to be incredibly tough to win. If we were going to win it, it was going to be an absolute upset of all time. Cordoba scores to restore a 2-goal lead for us, though. Aliovic finds Jadon, who finds Aliovic going through again, and he actually gives us a 3-goal lead and a 2-0 lead in this game. We were potentially going to be beating Bayern Munich, and you're all thinking he cannot bottle this. Well, this is the Kempi XI channel, and I can assure you there is a chance we can bottle this. We do concede, but we do go ahead and score some goals. Juric on the left-hand side puts the ball into Meliashin to make things 3-1 for us, and we are actually going to make it 4-1 from Cordoba. And you're really thinking there's no chance he bottles this now. And again, there certainly is a chance. Baquez finds a ball to Kordejovic. He whips the ball in to Baldazini for 4-2 on the night. And Canizun makes it 4-3 on the night. And there's only 2 goals in it yet again. And Baldazini drops to Koljovic and he whips it in, and it's down to just a 1-goal gap yet again, the 90th minute. But luckily, Stejpanovic drives through out of the box, finds Gomez down the right-hand side. He finds Zoran Eliovic, and as Bayern Munich push everyone forward, we score. We win 7-5 on aggregate. That was lucky. We actually nearly bought it, conceding 4 goals, but Bayern Munich conceding 5 is absolutely shocking. We're into the round of 16. And Liverpool was the team we drew in the round of 16, and we've seen them win a whole host of Champions Leagues in this, and that's due to wonderful goals like that from Dominik Szoboszlai, making it 1-0 to Liverpool. Zulic makes it 1-1 with a backstick header, but Liverpool and Dominik Szoboszlai make it 2-1 thanks to a penalty in the 80th minute. And in the 90th minute, a great one over the top, and Cordoba goes through. He cuts things back, and Balde is there for 2-2. And now we had to go to Anfield and see if we could get a result here. And Juric on the left-hand side whips it in. Balde finds Zulic, and we do get an early goal. We are 1 goal ahead. Szoboszlai from the spot make things all level, and Liverpool finally go ahead in this tie thanks to Szoboszlai whipping a ball in to Rooney Bargi at the back stick. And frankly, Liverpool never turned back. Savio finds a ball to Javi Guerrero, finds another great ball through to Savio, cuts it across, and Darwizzy is there to get a goal. They are 2 goals clear, and it's going to be 3 thanks to another screamer from Dominik Szoboszlai. So yes, we got battered in the round of 16, but this season overall was incredibly successful in terms of everything. We won the Ligue 1, we won the French Cup, we come runners up in the Super Cup, and we got round of 16 in the Champions League. So next season is silly season. We go for it all. Champions League Season 10 sounds absolutely beautiful. This season, our star players were as followed. Matic out on loan actually was great, but Cordoba 17 and 3, Aliovic 14 and 8, Jadon again 12 and 10, 11 and 5 for Pavel Mariashin, 9 and 2 for Melkerson, 8 and 10 for Gomez, 5 and 16 for Noah Mikic at right back as well. This guy is a superstar. If you guys have never used him, get him in. He's absolutely brilliant. Let's get in though to Season 10 to see if we can retain the Ligue 1 trophy and win the Champions League. Well, it was time to move past a 30-year-old Jadon Philipponje, but what a signing. This guy is unbelievable. A free agent signing, has been unbelievable the whole time. Very happy to bring him in, but it's finally gone for £19 million. Vadim Rakov has also left the club to PSG, Crystal Palace, for £3.2 million. And Elias Hoff Melkerson, who was a great free agent signing, has left to Roma. This guy's been are underrated signing, just scoring massive goals throughout the whole time. £1.2 million, but very happy with how he's done as well. And he's now going to go off to Roma and carry on his career. But that's it in terms of outgoings, and I actually didn't go mental. Only £17 million spent. 8.5 of it was spent on a superstar DM of Milan Girovic from Vojvodina in Serbia. 17 decisions, 19 bravery, 17 technique and vision. A great ball playing DM. 4 million on a brand new right back in Blas Benedetto with great concentration and physicals and decent crossing. Incredibly good in big matches and extremely consistent. My favourite kind of signing. Zlatan Saric is up next, a Bosnian centre-back signed from SKN St. Polten. Very good decision-making, bravery, and decent defensively as well. Decent consistency, 8 caps internationally, a very good backup centre-back. A new backup striker in Robin van Duven has also come in and signed. Got good finishing, composure, and physical stats, while being 6'2", incredibly consistent, likes big matches, and cost us just 500k. He was released from PSV, scored 17 goals last year in the Eredivisie. 500k. I don't mind that at all. And another one that I don't mind is Prince Anning, released from Dortmund to go to Go Ahead Eagles. We signed him here at Paris FC, 200k, an absolute bargain. And a couple of free agent signings. Number one in Carney Chukwuemeka, released from Chelsea, ended up at QPR. He played 144 games, but he's now coming to Paris FC. And finally, Sergei Pinayev, a very consistent, love big matches, right winger, left winger, or striker, signed from Lokomotiv Moscow. Very quick, great flair, and a superstar winger, and the team looks absolutely brilliant. Kudyakov, Mikic, Giga, Zulic, Juric, Stepanovic, Ambriz, Gomez, Aliovic, Cordoba, and Meliashin up top. I think we've got a squad that's worthy of going back-to-back and maybe lifting a Champions League along the way. Well, there is another trophy to tick off the list. It's the Trophée des Champs, where we beat Monaco 1-0 thanks to a 92nd minute goal from Robin van Duven. But sadly, we weren't going to be retaining our French Cup trophy after losing on penalties to Clermont, which is absolutely gutting, but we move on. We've got bigger fish to fry, like lifting back-to-back Ligue 73 points again, but PSG on 68 again. I mean, they're not doing bits for some reason. They have fallen off, and we have taken over. Paris FC are the big team in Paris. Back-to-back years. I'm absolutely buzzing. I actually didn't think we'd get to this point in this rebuild. I thought it might be a case of where we can't actually beat PSG in points tally and we just win the Champions League. But here we are, back-to-back winners. Can we now do Bix in the UCL? It was certainly a better showing in the league phase. We're up to 13th, 5 wins against Young Boys, Porto, Monaco, Copenhagen, and Benfica, and 3 losses against Real Madrid, Leipzig, and Milan. It was going to be the knockout playoff round, though. And when the first game was up against Monaco, we beat them 4-2 on aggregate, and we believe we beat them in the league phase as well. Robin van Duven scoring the goal in this game, and I want to mention this geezer, 21 starts, 18 goals. Remember, he cost us £500,000. In the Champions League, he played 17 starts, 15 goals. Absolutely ridiculous. And well, we were quite actually blessed in the round of 16 as well. We faced up against Villarreal, and it might have taken us till extra time, but we did get through them 6-4 on aggregate in the end. Another brace from Van Duven, a goal from Zoran, and a goal from Blas Benedetto, and we are through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Well, of course, we drew up against Liverpool, who knocked us out last season, and Stefan Bajetic gets them 1-0 up. Aliovic whips it in, and Van Duven leaps up and makes it 1-1. But Liverpool at our stadium are going to win 2-1 thanks to a goal from Quiros. So if we wanted to get through to the semis of the Champions League, we'd have to do it at Anfield. And Aliovic tried to score a screamer. It bounced off and found Cordoba to make it 1-0 in this one. And we're actually going to go ahead in the tie for the first time. A ball through, and Van Duven, he's there again. He's a danger man in the Champions League. I don't get someone who's that good. It's incredible. Szoboszlai finds a ball to the edge of the box. Quiros back to Szoboszlai, whips it in. It falls to Sarr, and the game is back level. But in the 74th minute, a penalty from Cordoba, and Paris FC have beaten Liverpool at Anfield, and we're going to the semi-finals of the UCL. And we were staying in England for this one because this time it's Chelsea we're up against. And they're going to go 1-up thanks to a pretty good little Brazilian wonder kid called Endrick. How's he ended up here then? I've got no idea. Luckily, Paris FC have our own superstars, and Balde, Benedetto and Aliovic link up fantastically to make it 1-1, and we're going to make it 2-1 as well. Juric on the left-hand side finds Cordoba to the edge of the box, and Van Duven is there. We are ahead at Stamford Bridge. Florian Wirtz has other ideas. Basoli whips it in, and a backstick header from Arthur Diete makes it 2-2. Benedetto finds Gligorovic. He drives into the box. He has his own ideas as well. Finds Juric, and it's 3-2 to Paris FC yet again. Surely not another goal for Chelsea. Buonanotte down the right-hand side finds a ball to Florian Wirtz. He makes it 3-0. And Chelsea give us an uphill task to take back to Paris FC as Wirtz finds Romeo Lavia, and he finds a ball into the box for João Pedro to make it 4-3. And well, this might just be the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. Robin van Duven scores 1-0 in the 2nd minute. Chelsea make it 1-1 in the 6th minute thanks to a goal from Biasoli. And what you're about to see is quite simply unheard of. This first half performance might be the best first half I've ever seen. Benedetto down the right hand side fires a great goal home to make it 2-1, and we were back on level terms, and we're finally going to go back ahead in the tie at our wonderful Paris FC stadium. Giljovic finds Aliovic to find Piniev, and we are ahead by 1 goal. Balde finds Ambrise. Ambrise finds Benedetto down the right hand side yet again, whips it in, and Aliovic is there to get us 2 goals ahead, and it's 4-1 on the night. How about 5-1? Robin van Duven down the left-hand side finds Piniev to found Balde, our academy player, for 5-1. And 6-1 is going to happen just after the half-time whistle. A ball whipped in, it gets cleared. Gilgorovic drives it in. A 6-1 demolition of Chelsea here at Paris FC. 9-5 on aggregate. I don't know what happened in that game. It's 2.65 XG. We just scored every single chance, and Dordo Petrovic dropped a 5.8. We're in the Champions League final, and of course, it's the inevitable Real Madrid in our way. And well, Robin van Duven, the £500,000 man, is going to make things 1-0 in a Champions League final. I don't know why he wasn't doing it in the Ligue 1, but in the Champions League, this guy's a demon. And Gigia at the backstick makes it 2-0 to Paris FC. We are in the driving seat, but Real Madrid are inevitable. Tchouameni makes it 2-1 just after half-time. When you're thinking Real Madrid can get back into the game, I think not. Cordoba and Juric linking up. Gilovic, Cordoba, he's there again. It's 3-1, and that's it. Paris FC, Champions League winners. 10 seasons we've taken from the 2nd tier of France to back-to-back Ligue 1 title winners, winning the Conference League, the Europa League, Ligue 1 and the French Cup. I can't believe we've done it. Paris FC, what a fantastic rebuild. What a picture site that is. Champions League winners, Paris FC. What a story. What a road to glory. What a rise to glory as well. A complete and utter mission, but that was simply fantastic. And our final best player of the whole entire rebuild, Noah Mikic, a 7.27. Most goals this season, Luciano Cordoba, 19 and 7. Robin van Duven, 18 and 1. Sergio Piniev, 14 and 8. Pavel Maliashin, 12 and 2. Carney Chukwuemeka, 12 and 5. Zoran, 11 and 9. And finally, with our finances as well, we've sold 25, brought in 16. Sold 59, brought in 33. Sold 3, brought in 5. Sold 24, brought in 28. Sold 15, brought in 3. Sold 13, brought in 9. Sold 200k, brought in 1.9. Sold 800k, brought in 3.6. Sold 900, brought in 2.1. That is a positive net spend of around £20 million. Finances are up to £133 million. This is the perfect Paris FC save. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Remember, you can get this save on Patreon down below. Thank you for watching. I'll speak to you next time.